corporate people here as well. Some of the big sponsors for the Blackhawks, like Boeing and Allstate and construction companies and so on. That's who's in those trolley buses. But as they start to move out, they will go in front. And now we are starting to see the first of the Blackhawks buses. They're in two columns here. It's starting to move out to the left. That's the one, of course, with Tommy Hawk. And a number of players sitting in the back. Hopefully people are going to get a good look at that. The second bus now was starting to roll. Kibo Timonen is in there. Michael Roosevelt is in there as well, number 32. We saw him come out sporting that cast. Happy to see him there. And all the buses now starting to roll here at the United Center. The players are wearing their jerseys. And the ones that we talked to earlier, including Patrick Kane, said, especially this third time, it is very important for them to try to give as much as they can to the fans in terms of essentially feeling the celebration, seeing that cup, letting as many people touch it as possible, slowing down on this route. So looking at my watch right now, it's we're about 21 minutes behind, and I have a feeling that sense of delay is going to increase here as the buses start to move along, because to a person on this team, they want to share this experience with their fans for whom they are getting so much support. Back to you guys.
I think, is that we can see the yellow siding that is under construction across from you. Is that the new Bulls practice facility that is under construction, I believe, with some construction workers up on top of it?
There we go, right there.
That seems to be correct. That seems to be right, and we can see those construction workers up there. In fact, earlier I spoke to some of the officers, the president and the chief engineer for them, Vince Gutekunst, and this is Clune Construction, and yeah, that is going to be a big part of expanding essentially the Blackhawks footprint here in the West Loop, just like the Bulls have done with the Advocate Center and their new practice facility there as well. And we can hear, we are at the United Center. I can hear the people screaming on the South Street where they're all exiting to. That's how loud it is out here. And I have a feeling that sense of that echoing and reverberating screaming of fans is going to be happening all the way through this route.
Yeah, and the screaming you're hearing is not even from an official part of the parade route, but as we have been pointing out, the city expanded the parade route, and then the citizens and Blackhawk fans have expanded it even further. There are folks gathering everywhere outside the United Center just to try and get a look at this as it goes by, and there is the cup in the last bus that is going by.
These fans very clever. Even though the official kickoff point for the parade is at Washington and Racine, they realize that the executives and the players and all of their families will be gathering at the United Center, have to get from the UC to that starting point, and so they just have unofficially lined up, which is much the same as it's happened at the end of the parade route at Monroe and Michigan Avenue. The official end there, but there were people lined up all the way past the Art Institute on Monroe this morning, going to Lakeshore Drive because the buses have to get to Soldier Field.
And that's Brent Seabrook holding up the cup right now as they leave the United Center area, and he's sitting next to Patrick Sharp, who's, I believe, holding his daughter Madeline. That's his oldest daughter. And Brent Seabrook, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm struck by the fact there's so many kids, and we didn't used to see that. Back in 2010, it didn't look the same way.
Maybe it's where they're going. I mean, the first year we were at Michigan and Wacker,
yeah,
and then the next 2013 we're at
Hutchinson Field,
yeah, Hutchinson
Grant Park. I think the other thing that has happened
to experience
it's been 6 years and we got some new kids.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And some of the kids that started off on the team are now men with families, and it's just exciting to see the transformation, not only of the team, but also the city in terms of it embracing the Chicago Blackhawks, which for many years in this city had become virtually irrelevant.
You know, that logo that they have, the Indian head logo, I travel around the world from time to time, and you see it everywhere, the Blackhawk logo. And so they have a great brand now. And again, as we mentioned earlier, Rocky Wirtz and John McDonough are really responsible for that. And then, of course, on the ice, players like Kane and Taves and Patrick Sharp and Corey Crawford.
Well, they got lucky with the draft choices with Kane and Taves. I mean, yes, there's skill involved in drafting. You also have to get a little lucky. So they got a big break in getting two marquee players out of the same draft.
Plus, Stan Bowman, not enough credit goes to him, the general manager of this hockey team. He comes from a huge hockey background. His father, Scotty Bowman, for many years, St. Louis, Montreal, Pittsburgh, Detroit, coached them to Stanley Cup championships.
Scotty's got his name on the Stanley Cup 9 times as a coach. 9 times.
That's just remarkable, and Stan has got his on the cup now 3 times as a general manager, but he's taken a very analytical approach. Baseball has done that in the last 15 or 20 years, and hockey has come into that as well.
I think we're on Washington now. Just turned off Damon, and we are beginning. We're not to what's the official start of the parade route, but as you can see, these clever folks got out of the crowds and get to see the same show.
That's terrific for them. Maybe the bus is moving a little bit more quickly along this area because the parade hasn't really started. And Jim, talk 1 second. The last parade, so 2013, it was like Mario Andretti heading down that parade route. They went so fast, and there were a lot of complaints about that. I have a feeling that's going to change this year.
Oh, yeah, they're going to go twice as slow this time. I mean, they're going right now the north side of the United Center there, and they'll be going by the hockey statues that are on the left-hand side.
They circled around once. It got like a victory lap around the United Center.
Great.
And then, of course, going by the Bobby Hull and Stan Mikita statues, which are at gate 3.5, right about there. But there they are. We just saw the base of them there. Stan Mikita, 22 years, all 22 years with the Chicago Blackhawks. And I'm sure that someone will say something at the podium today. Stan is suffering from dementia, and his wife Jill has talked about how he's going through his troubles. And he was just a fantastic ambassador for the Chicago Blackhawks.
And one of the wonderful things is he did have a chance to see them win and participate in those 2 championships. And bringing back those marquee players was one of the hallmarks of what Rocky Wirtz did when he turned this team around.
The most famous, of course, was Bobby Hull, who in the 70s went to the Winnipeg Jets of the American Hockey League because the father, Bill Wirtz, and Arthur Wirtz didn't want to pay Bobby Hull the money. He got $1 million, which was unheard of. Hockey players were getting $15,000 and $20,000 a season at the time. They're going to pay Bobby Hull $1 million. So there was a sort of a disconnect there for a long time, and then Bobby came back into the fold, and Mikita never left the fold, and players like Tony Esposito have always been around the team. So they've done a great job with the ambassadorship program that they've had of their former players, their former great players. You know, Mikita and Hull won those Stanley Cup in '61, and they have invited these guys to come back into the fold, and they have been fabulous for getting a new group, a new generation of fans to come in too.
Yeah, and there are some guys who've been around a good long while now or participate. The late Reggie Fleming was a great ambassador for the Blackhawks.
He told great stories too.
Oh, told great stories, and Dennis Savard has been a great ambassador.
Cliff Coral
for the Blackhawks. Yeah, I mean there is a very. You're right when you make the point that hockey players, young hockey players, typically need a huge amount of support from families. Because when you're a young person learning how to play hockey, ice time is critical, and the younger kids get ice time at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and parents have to make that commitment to buy the equipment, get them there at 4 o'clock in the morning for practice.
It's the most expensive sport. Yeah, and it has to be ice available, and it's the most expensive sport to equip.
Well, and I read somewhere within the last week that the president of the Illinois Amateur Hockey Association says that in the last 6 years, as a result of this, fervor for hockey in the city of Chicago because of the Blackhawks, there is 25% more ice out there for kids to skate on than there was even 6 years ago. That's an impressive number.
And that's going to help to develop the game. You'll get bigger and better athletes who will come into it. I mean, now there's a huge minority participation that's starting around a lot of the hockey cities in America, New York and Chicago and Boston and Philadelphia, where kids that are in depressed neighborhoods are getting equipment from teams like the Chicago Blackhawks.
And the fan base is expanding.
Johnny Oduya, last year we did a piece with him on Heart and Soul, and he's from Sweden. His dad is Kenyan, and he talked about the commitment that the Blackhawks made to get equipment, buy equipment, and make it available to kids on the south and west side of Chicago.
And while the fan base is maybe expanding nationally, and I'm not sure about that, It has erupted in Chicago, and Chicago has become the model for the entire sport. You go to these other cities. Dale Talon, who was with the Blackhawks and is now with the general manager with the Florida Panthers, I had a chance to speak to Dale last year. And about Florida, he's still got a tough sell in Florida for hockey.
Yeah.
And the Tampa Bay Lightning, as good as they've been, they've already won a Stanley Cup. And they still have trouble developing a fan base.
Well, that original six, of the original six teams, they're the core of the National Hockey League. And some of these other cities like Los Angeles last year when the Kings won the Stanley Cup, I mean, I hate to say this, but their local television stations didn't even go and cover them on the road. I mean, that's unheard of. I mean, here in Chicago, everybody goes and went from the start of the first round on to cover our teams. So there's the interest here is very, very solid, and the Blackhawk management is due a lot of respect and congratulations.
And Rocky Words wants a practice facility close to the United Center. And he was talking about the fact that only, 5% of the ice time would actually be taken up by the Hawks. And he wants to see kids, the Boys and Girls Club, and inner city kids in Chicago on the ice skating.
We should be getting near Stacey Baca's position at Washington and Racine, which is the, quote, official start of the parade route. But as you can see, this is a parade. It's already underway. We've already got people crowding the streets. We are going.
Beautiful shot there. And you can see the lines of people.
Ron and Kathy.
That 4 and 5 thick now in this area. We're going to go back out to Stacey Baca, who is at the official start at Washington and Racine, although the parade's already underway. Stacey.
Ron and Kathy, this is the exact moment that every single fan out here has been waiting for. Just listen to all the excitement, the cheers, the screaming. The excitement is so palpable. Just all the little kids, the families, and this is truly what it's about. As we watch all the buses go by, I just want to bring in some fans here so that they can kind of voice their opinion about what's happening too. Mary Kay, what does this mean to you?
Oh my God, this is amazing. I was here for the last parade, and this is just all the better having to be the third time in a few years.
Of course, our eyes are peeled on some of the double-deckers where we think some of the players are coming too. Any ones you're looking for particularly?
Definitely Sod. I love Sod. He's one of my faves, for sure. So, I love all of them. I love all of them.
And there goes the Stanley Cup. You can see this moment. I mean, Leslie, what was that like, just watching that go by and seeing the players?
So exciting. I've been a big fan since 2010. Love this right now. Can't believe I'm here.
Another great part about this is that everyone is living the moment by taking pictures and videos and making sure that they get a shot. And the best part about it, I remember covering parade in the past, and boy, it felt like these buses flew on by, but right now they're not. They're really kind of taking their time to make sure that fans could really soak this in. What do you think about it? What do you think about all this?
Awesome. So exciting. So exciting.
Your favorite part is we see all these great players go by?
Of course. Especially Kane.
And again, you're getting the close-up view of some of the players as they wave to the crowd. It's also so strange to see them without all their hockey gear, too. You're kind of looking at their jerseys and making sure, okay, yes, that's this, that's that. So was this wait all worth it, guys? What are you thinking?
Oh, yeah, fantastic, man. Great parade. It's awesome.
And your favorite part, just kind of seeing these guys go by?
Talking to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what was the question? I know you are so caught up in the moment. I'm just amazed right now. And there you see Seabrook, the cup hoisted. It's almost like the fans out here are speechless, as you just mentioned. It's
There's nothing like it.
I was just going to say, how do the first, second, and third ones compare since you felt and lived through each one of them?
Well, the first one, I was about 15 rows from the front of the rally and pure chaos, and the second one, pure chaos, and this one, I mean, look at all these fans. It's amazing, and it continues to grow every year. The numbers, it's amazing. They've come a long way.
So there you have it, a bunch of excitement here as all the buses pass by. Let's go and find out what's happening along the route. Joining us now, my colleague, Sarah Schulte. Sarah, how are things, sir?
It's good.
All right, here come some trolleys. Everything is started here at Washington Racine. Everyone's got their cameras up, their GoPros. Here comes Tommy Hawk, and here come the Hawks. There's again, everybody's cheering. Still waiting for the Stanley Cup to come right by Washington and Halstead. Here comes some more trolleys. And yes, they are going slower than 2 years ago, so obviously the drivers have discovered that pedal on the left. There it is. People scream for Hossa. You know, so many people have been at this corner since 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sure right now this is now all worth it for them. Here comes the third bus. Here's a fan right now. What do you think?
I think this is awesome. I have my daughter here. She was here in 2013 when she was 0. Her mom was here in 2010. We've been coming forever. We've been coming to the game since before they were drafted, when they weren't so good, and now they're good, and it's great. It's awesome.
Now, you just told me you actually left Northbrook at 9:30 this morning and made it?
Yeah, we left Northbrook at 9:30. The highway was fine. We got on the expressway. We shot all the way down. We were thinking of going to Soldier Field. We ended up seeing all these people. We got off. We parked. And now we're here in perfect time.
Boy, that was perfect
It worked out well. We had coffee and we came. Woo! Yeah!
All right, who do you want to really see? Who's the most important person for you to see on these buses?
Chalmerson and the Cup and Keith. All of them. Oh, yeah! Woo! All of them. This is awesome. The guys who may not be here next year. The Cup, the Conn Smythe Trophy.
There it is, the Stanley Cup. Everyone's camera's going now.
Look at the Cup, Tim. Look at the Cup, Adrian. And Keith, all of them. Rocky.
Who's holding the cup?
That's Sharpie. Oh, no, that's Seabrook.
Seabrook is.
Yeah!
Lots of screams, obviously, and there it goes.
The Cup is with Sharp, Seabrook, and Keith. Where's the junk bus with Kane and Crawford and all them? They don't have the Cup this year like in 13.
Yeah, they gotta spread it around. There's Governor Bruce Rauner, also on one of the buses.
Here comes McDonough.
Oh. All right, buses still coming by here at Halstead and Washington, still going on and moving on. Let's take it to ABC 7's Ben Bradley. Ben.
Hey, Sarah, Tommy Hawk just passed us. That means the front of this entourage is making its way on the turn here through the West Loop of Chicago. The crowd has come alive. They're about 10 deep here right now, and we're starting to see the buses that are containing some of this support staff, team managers, their families who certainly earn this ride down the road of champions in Chicago. We've come through this a couple of times this year. What's fun to see is a lot of the people on these buses, they're holding up 3 fingers. We all know what that means. 3 times that this team has won the Stanley Cup. I want to talk to Don right now. It's from Park Ridge. What does this mean to you? You're in about, 20 seconds. Going to be about 20 feet from the Stanley Cup.
Truly amazing. Chicago's truly reached a dynasty. I remember going to games back when there were like 5 people, and now we're selling out like 22,000 people. That's truly
these streets are full, and they're only going to get fuller as this parade makes its way into the loop.
I'm not surprised. Like, people will come down either way, one way or another. People are just coming. They care about the Hawks.
Got Kruger, Thomason. Let's go to my colleague Leah Hope, who's about a block further south from me and can give us a look from her vantage point. Leah?
They calling me? We are enjoying the turn here. We knew that the trolleys were going to have to slow down, so everyone here who had waited for such a long time could have a good look at all the players, and that has definitely been the case. Folks have been here for hours waiting to see this, and now this is the moment. They are able to really celebrate with all of the players and the players' families. We have heard people from out of town, out of state, who came here this morning. They've been here through the rain, through the shine, but it is all smiles right now, smiles and cheers. You see everybody with their cameras out, and of course, the players have their cameras out as well. So it's really a competition between cameras here to catch this moment. Everyone here knows that this is a moment in history. This is a moment that they will remember for the rest of their lives. We've seen a lot of families here who have brought their children because they want their children to have this as part of their memories. Even some really young kids. We've seen some families who have brought their infant children, but they want them to take part in this as well. The crowd is, it's so loud now as the Stanley Cup goes by. What a moment. Rocky with his family. This is, of course, an amazing moment for his family. The word's tradition. We've got some beach balls flying. But wow, what a moment here. This is so much different than the parade the last time when they kind of sped by, and folks who had been here for so long were wondering, hey, where did everyone go? We didn't get a chance to really soak in the moment. But I'll tell you, this time is a lot different. They've really spread the players out on many different trolleys, many different buses, and they are forced to slow down here at Des Plaines and Monroe. So the folks who came to this spot, this is a great location because not only are they slowing down for this turn, but a block down where my colleague Ben Bradley is, they also had to slow down here. So this is the place to be, to really soak in this moment. If you didn't get a ticket to get into the rally, we saw a lot of folks here just come off the train, coming in from the suburbs. They were able to just walk on over, get a spot. Some of them may not have planned to even be at this corner, but once they got here, this was the right place to be. All right.
With the coaching staff, Coach Quinville and his assistants.